ahead and start the show.
Oh,
That's
start the show.
that's the raw stuff.
All right, start the show.
Your body next to mine. I feel you all the time. There's no denying it. I'm tired of hiding it. Yeah. Tell me all the things you wanna see. Explore my body, baby, to be no mystery. Once you get a taste, promise you won't let go of me. I'll take you on this ride. You'll be so free.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Tyler Marr, and she is.
Winters.
And this is.
Talking shit with TNT.
All right, what's good? What's good? Oh, man. I really don't have a subject matter today. So we just going to wing it for the day. Let's start the George Floyd trial. What you think about that?
The what now?
The George Floyd trial of the cop that killed George Floyd?
I mean, I'm just waiting to see if he's gonna be actually convicted and tried, or if he's gonna get off. That's what I'm waiting to see.
You know what? I would put dollars to donuts. I would almost think he's gonna get off, and I'm not hoping for it. Don't get me wrong. It's just the fact that I don't know the way things go and shit like this. It seems like they do all that and they do all this publicity of actually getting somebody arrested, and then as soon as it's time to really convict them of the crime, they always seem to let them go for some kind of circumstantial reason, or he was just doing his job too aggressively, or something like that. It's never really like it's never really a really good reason. It's just like, oh, he was just doing his job. He was just being too aggressive.
Well, the lady cop got time when
Which
she went
one?
in there and shot that guy inside of his own apartment. She got time.
She got 10 years. That girl,
She got time though.
she got.
She got time, and she's going for an appeal. She's appealing it.
First of all, I feel like she should have got way more time.
That's the amount that's the highest amount that she could have gotten.
That was not the highest amount that she could have gotten.
It was. It actually was. That was the highest amount they could give her for the crime that she committed.
So, the crime of breaking and entering, and somebody in their house while they were sleeping, or while they were in their house.
It was awake. He was awake.
I don't give a damn what anybody say. She knew that motherfucker.
They've already proved that she knew him. They knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
They already proved that.
I don't think it was like a, how you doing neighbor type of situation either. I literally think they were messing around with each other, and somebody called feelings and then had a gun.
We know who the somebody was.
Yeah.
They didn't know who somebody called feelings. We would know who the somebody was. Yeah. The person with the gun. Person banging on the door. Exactly. Person coming in there shooting somebody and then thinking I'm gonna get off because look at me, I'm a fragile white girl.
And
a lady cop.
I just feel like that whole trial. I hated that trial. The way the judge was, the way the family was. Oh, I forgive you so much. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Man, they could have had me in that court. You would have shot my brother. I was like, you need to fry that bitch. What the fuck?
Well, it's only the one brother who went up there and gave her a hug, or asked to give her a hug.
And the judge.
They wouldn't have said that for me because I would have said, yeah, I want to give her a hug too. Yeah. Tell my brother, can I give her a hug? I really want to give her a hug.
Man, they were tight.
They would have said denied access. Denied. You can't touch her.
What the hell you think you get a hug?
They would be like, not her. She can't get not. I'm sorry.
She ain't slick.
I'm sorry, Miss Winters, but you cannot give her a hug.
I don't know. I've seen that case. I was like, really? This is we are coming to like that. You know, I don't know. I just the whole this whole that whole case with George Floyd though, and I remember seeing that shit last year where a man. I ain't really watched the video. I was watching the video later than everybody else. I just felt like I really thought it was like a viral video, something stupid, and I really didn't want to watch it. And then when I seen the video and see him on the ground and it looked like the life was taken out of him, that really bothered me. And the smile on old boy face, the whole everybody sitting around, you know what I'm saying? Like it really did bother me to see that. And you know, I can understand the uproar. Then that just happened right before that happened after the Ahmaud Aubrey case where he was shot by them two, by the father and son tandem. You know what I mean? Which everybody trying to make excuses for, but he ran through the house, he was running away, all this and all that. You know, it was a lot of other extra stuff going on. And before that, and what didn't Breonna Taylor happen last year too?
Breonna Taylor happened before George Floyd, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was before George Floyd and Ahmaud Aubrey. Well, Ahmaud Aubrey actually happened first, but it was just put on TV months later. Um, just seeing all that, you know, and I feel like I'm old when I say this, but just knowing what the consequences going to be, to me, that was kind of hard to really like look at, you know. And so right now, I see they got the case and everything is settled down and stuff like that, but I still feel like it's not really at the point where you can just be like, this is going to be over with anytime soon, or it's going to come out to be a good outcome. Just me.
I mean, it's not going to be a good outcome either way it goes, because on either side, you got people that's supportive, you got people that's not supportive on either side. So somebody's going to be upset regardless of what happens. But for the most part, I mean, if you watched the video, if you heard this man on the ground crying for his mama who had passed away, like that was gut wrenching. That was traumatizing to a mother hearing a grown man call out to his mother. That was traumatizing. And I would never want for, anybody to have to go through that, let alone having to hear it in a video of a grown man.
Yeah.
You know. And it doesn't matter the circumstance, it doesn't matter. And then the whole reason why they came out there was crazy anyway. Somebody called over a $20 bill. Counterfeit $20 bill. It wasn't even counterfeit. At the end of the day, was it even counterfeit? Like, that's why I'm hesitant. They say, oh, the people on the groups that I'm in, they're like, oh, so you're against the police or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, don't call them when you need them. I said, I'm hesitant to call them anyway, because what if it's just something that needs to be checked on by somebody in the neighborhood? What if it's just somebody kept their door open? Like the girl, was it in Texas? The one that the neighbor called a welfare check on her, yeah. And she wound up dead.
Yeah.
He wound up dead.
Yeah. And
she had a right to have arms, a right to protect herself. She saw somebody outside looking around. So she did. To me, like, I would want to know everybody in my neighborhood's phone number. So I'm going to call you. Forget calling the police to come check on your ass, because that's a lot of times how a lot of us get gone, because somebody want to check. I'm going to call the police. Hey, can the police can you check on this? No, don't do that for me. Don't do that for me. Don't do it. I don't care. Either you call me or have somebody from next door to come check on me. Do not call the police. Plus, there was a guy in Gastonia, and we were working with his son.
Okay.
Same thing happened to him. He had just had surgery. He was an older gentleman. and somebody in his family asked to go make a welfare check because he wasn't picking up his phone. Long story short, he came to the door with a gun, with a shotgun, and he's an elderly man, like he was like in his 80s, and he had just had surgery. And these motherfuckers shot and killed him. And his son, one of his sons, we worked with. Well, I don't know if you worked with him, but he came into class with me. But yeah, we worked together, and I was like, they just shot and killed because he was saying he was telling us he was only reason why he was here at the time was because it was some family business going on. But then when I read the story and then I saw his name in there, I was like, 2 and 2. When I asked him about it, he was like, yeah. That's
Let's see, and I'm not that far against the police. I just feel like just because you asking for accountability for the police officers doesn't mean you're anti-police. It just means that everybody should be accountable. If somebody's dead on your watch and there was no real reason for it, if you can't question that as a human being, just say, "Oh, they were just doing their job." The man was dead. I did over 20 hours. Let's keep that above. If even if it was fake, he died over $20, $20. You arrested a man over $20, really?
and he knew him.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Like it would be different if it was just a random Negro.
Yeah.
You knew him. That makes it all so far worse.
That's and the whole thing seems like that's all fishy right there. You know what I mean? Because what I've heard and read and seen, I realized that they said that he was like, George Floyd used to be a security guard at one of the clubs. And George Floyd was a popular security guard where people liked him. And the cop was a security guard at the same club, and they didn't like him. Like, for some reason, people didn't like him. You know what I mean?
I wonder why.
It could have been anything. And it could have been some jealousy going on. I am not going to put that as anything far fetched at all. It is what it is when it comes to that. But, just to see this man die on a video is gut wrenching. That was gut wrenching. And then when you see his face as the life is out of his body and they're still standing on his neck, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of coon niggas that try to make the cop right in that situation, and there's no way of doing that.
I can't agree. I there's no possible way I can agree with somebody saying,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, he was doing his job."
Yeah, no, there's no way.
It didn't even look like George Floyd was trying to get away.
No.
It didn't like he was resisting. And then the way they blocked the car, they blocked the part of it off with the like they knew where the lights were, where the cameras were. They blocked part of it off. So I'm trying to figure like how did they get him from point A to point B, then on the ground? Like, how did that happen?
And to me,
because they blocked it off.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see.
And to me, what was the worst part about it was even the aftermath. And it's funny how when a black person gets some injustice done to them, it seems like their whole past from 1955 and on up get picked up and shown. And next thing you know, you find out that they used to sell drugs back in the day. They used to do this back in the day. They used to do that back in the day. I was watching something interesting on YouTube, and I know people don't like Bill Cosby now. His name went through the mud because of his alleged sexual assault case. But the one thing he made a point of saying that whenever you see something happen with a black person in the black community or just a black person in the community, you always see a black man was shot today, a black man shot up the bar, a black man did this, a black man did that. But when you hear about somebody who killed their whole family and killed themselves, a man killed and his kids, but never tell you that it's white. Now, me we being a part of the black community, we already like as soon as we hear certain crimes, black people know that was
Automatically.
automatically. Somebody went to shoot up. Somebody shot up on Walmart. Somebody shot up Walmart. White. Somebody shot up the movie theater. White. You know, you say drive by. That was a nigga. Somebody shot up the school. White. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that's the crazy part. Like, we know the crime, but it's just the fact that when they're reported, it's reported different. It's reported It's reported in a way where you don't, even though as black people we know it's white, it's not in the negative context of it being white. So you're not going to say a white man kills his white wife and his white children today because they forgot to give him pork chops. No, you're not going to hear that.
And that's the crazy thing, because it be some bullshit like that. Yeah. Because they forgot because he was lonely, because he was sad, and I'm like, why are y'all giving this dude excuses? He took someone's life.
Yeah, they give him excuses all the time. Like it's always, he just had a bad day.
Like the guy who killed that his baby mama's family members. Mm-hmm. Took her hostage, shot her, but she didn't. She lived and took the baby. Yeah. Like,
white. You know, that's not in Cleveland, though, is it?
No, that was a black family.
That was a black family in Cleveland, but they said he was black.
And they didn't make it seem like he had some type of mental issue, because clearly anybody who does that has a mental issue over money. And they was giving you money anyway.
With that case, he was abusive, and he was an abusive person anyway. So that was an abusive relationship that she was in for the longest time with him, and it would have been something. And
it was an abusive relationship, but they weren't together.
They weren't together, but even though they're not together, it was still an abusive relationship. So, you know what I mean? For him to go over there and shoot the mom, the brother, the cousin, he did he shoot her? No, he didn't kill her. And the daughter. No. He shot the daughter.
He shot her daughter. Her daughter.
He killed her daughter. That was an abusive person. That was an abusive personality, and I don't give no credence. Look, whatever happened to him happened to him. I give two fucks. You know what I mean? You know, to be real with you. But it just seemed like when you hear certain things in certain other communities, you know what I mean? I was looking at something. Have you ever heard about incels?
Who? No.
Incels. All right, so these are supposed to be men who state that they should be able to have any woman, and every woman should be available to them. Now, this is mostly a white male thing, but there are black people who do this. I don't understand how, but basically they feel like they have the right to go after any woman and do whatever they need to do to any woman, and women should be provided for them. One, I think that's the laziest shit I've ever heard, because pussy's out. Anybody can get pussy. I mean,
I think it's amazing.
Huh?
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the right to go after, like to I guess play the field, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. They have the right to do that. But when they get rejected, they should walk away.
That's the part of the problem is they don't feel like they should get rejected, though. That's the
problem. Oh, well, honey.
But here's the thing, though. Like, it's almost like, I say this all the time. We live in a world, in a society where we are technology advanced to the T more than ever before, and we are able to reach out to more people than ever before in our life. But I also feel like we lost that humanity part, that personal part, that people don't know how to really communicate with people and really connect with people. So they feel like just because they're who they are, they deserve to get some ass. You get what I'm saying? Or women should not turn them down because they don't have to make themselves better. You know, it's just, you should like me because I'm me, and I don't have to improve on what I have to improve on. I don't give a fuck if I'm fat and I am unemployed and I'm I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work out. You still should be your ass.
So in other words, they want groupies.
Yes, they want a groupie without doing nothing to get a groupie. You know what I mean? And I always feel like even nowadays, I just remember, and I want to make myself seem old in a minute. I remember when you get on to the internet. Hold on. I remember when you used to get on the internet, and if you met somebody off the internet website, it was like a whole pariah thing. Like could not meet nobody on the internet. You know what I mean? You ain't got no game if you can't go. Like you had to go up to a girl and meet her at the bar, and hopefully she's not with a whole bunch of other girls. And you need to talk what you need to talk. And if she talk to you, it's cool. If not, you're gonna have to walk in the corner of that walk of shame. You know what I mean? You can't. Young boys can't handle that shit no more. It's just so readily for them. You know what I mean? We were talking about something. I was talking to a friend about something about that. Like, I feel like nowadays, even with things like you don't get the chance to really get to know people now. So you get to know their profile. Oh, they fine. They sound good on the internet. And most of the people that you see meet on the internet, crazy. I mean, I don't, especially guys. If you meet guys on the internet, they are crazy as shit.
Yep. I've met some of the wildest ones on the internet, and that's as far as they go, right there or to my phone. Because no, I'd rather meet you in person and see you interact with other people, so that I could tell for myself. And then if you already acting foolish on the phone, no.
And that's just the way. That's the world we live in, though. Like we got Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. You know what I mean? Like these young people, they don't even ask for your phone number no more. They be like, "Oh, what's your Snapchat? What's your email? What's your Facebook?" Oh fuck. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's, in a way, I feel like it's safer though, because you don't necessarily have to give your full name. It's kind of like PayPal, but for it's your bio. It's like, how PayPal, you put your card information in, and it's kind of like a third party to you paying on the internet. I feel like Facebook, Instagram, all the other ones, I feel like they're kind of like a PayPal to who you actually are. And you have to actually go in depth with that person to get to know who they are, because you're only going to get what they give you.
You know what though? I also find that myself, I never thought you could really find love off those sites. But I do find that a lot of time with females, they can have a one night stand with you on those sites, and it's not the same kind of pariah as say you meet somebody at the bar and you go home with them. You get what I'm saying? Like it looks kind of, huh?
I get it, but I've never. Oh yes, maybe I have.
Yeah, I've never ever fucked somebody off an internet site.
One time, years and years and years ago. One time.
Man, please. All right, case in point, I ain't know nothing about it with internet site until like later, and my homeboy put me on it, and I met this girl the first time I met this chick. Jumped off with her. Second time I got on the site, met somebody else. Jumped off with her. Like damn, it was like that. I mean, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. But I don't know. It just the most of the time you get on those internet sites, there are a lot of females who just want to get their rocks off, and they do. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, multiple times.
I guess it was the timing for me, because I wasn't really trying to. I didn't even want to be on there. Actually, someone encouraged me to get on there, and I was just like, "These people are crazy." No, you just haven't found the right one. No, they are crazy, cray. They're crazy.
Like I said,
I ain't got time for this crap. And then they talking about, I want to come see you at my house. Where I live? Oh, no. Nah. I'll meet you somewhere.
I remember the first time I got onto a certain site. I got on there and I got bored. I was bored. I was by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I get on the site, talk to this girl. Blah 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 blah. It was like around New Year's Eve. I was like, you know what? I'm bored. How about you come through? She said, yeah. I said, really? She said, yeah, I'll come. I was like, okay, come through. Gave her my address and all that shit. I don't know. As soon as I gave her, she said, all right, I'm on my way. As soon as I gave her my address, I don't know what it was, but I had some fear in my heart about that situation. Like I thought that she was gonna come and rob me or bring some dudes around here, niggas to rob me so bad. I was like, oh shit, I got this broad that I don't know coming over my house, and I don't know her at all. I don't know what kind of niggas that she going to have. I don't know what kind of hood she from. And then I just heard that story about that young girl who got that boy shot in Houston. He got some boy
Mm.
shot in Houston because they went on a date and the dude came out and she had him set up. I was like, oh shit, this girl come to my house. So my dumb ass, I go around the house. I hit like 5 knives all around my house. So just in case I knew where the knives were. She did not.
Oh
But she came
wow.
to my house. She came to my house, knocked on the door, sat on the couch. He had no panties on, and big bang boom, whatever. But that was like, wow, that blew my whole fucking mind. Like, whoa, she was ready for some action that whole night. Like, really, I didn't expect that. But it was just like that was like the biggest fear though. I was like, oh my god, this chick is actually coming to my house. What the heck? Not like literally. If she had known how many knives I had next to her, she would have been like, I could have got arrested for having the weapons right by her. But I just remember I was so scared when she said yes. I was like, yeah, oh okay, good. I was happy. Then I was like, what this chick bring some niggas around my house? Like, and I got knives. If they got guns, I'm dead anyway. But I was gonna fight.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know, but that's one of the things. Then you got the congressman. Hmm. Then you got the congressman who's accused of having a relationship with a 17-year-old girl.
What congressman?
Oh man, what's this dude name? Hold
You can't say that without having to say who it was.
on. Yeah, exactly. Uh, his name is Matt Gates.
I don't know who that is.
He's in the House of Representatives. What state is he from? He's a Republican and from Florida. Yeah,
Mm.
Charlamagne may be right. and and check this out. It even gets better. It gets better. Not only is he accused of having a relationship with a 17-year-old, now he's a part of an investigation as part of a broader sex trafficking probe into Florida. You
Of
can't
course
make
he
this.
is.
You can't make this shit up. You can't. You can't. You can't.
Of course he is.
You know,
Because apparently that's what they've been doing. All these higher ups have been doing.
man. Look, that goes back to my whole incel comment that I made earlier. Um, there's a group of men, mostly white, that thinks that they deserve ass, and all through history, they were able to get like these are the type of men that you could get ass. Because think about it like this: you had it all through history. You either were as a woman, you really had no control over your body. Either your dad sold you off, or somebody took you, or raped you. Or, like literally, you very rarely did a woman really have control of herself. And then, you know, these are the same type of white men who they were either married off to somebody's daughter, And even when they wanted to have more sex with somebody else, if they have slaves, what they do? They go into the little houses and take one of the young girls.
With the younger ones.
Yes. Now, mind you, we always talk about the raping of slaves, but it was always the young. In my mind, I'm always thinking it was your teenage girls. You know what I mean? It wasn't the 40-year-old woman. It was always they. I mean, I ain't gonna say they wouldn't rape them too.
I mean, they were doing them all. Let's just face it.
Yeah, I
It
ain't gonna.
wasn't just if they were pretty enough.
Yes,
If they were, I mean, slave women were exotic to these white slave masters. So I don't even think it was an age bearing on it. Honestly, I feel like they were even going as far as 7, 8, 9-year olds.
dude,
To be
I
honest,
I would not put past. A lot of it I would not put past that. I mean, I don't think there was a real age limit to it. If they had perversions, I wouldn't even put it on women. I think they were messing around with little boys. Um, they did it all, and it baffles me. I always say this. This always baffled me about the institution of slavery and the whole, not really a whole man, or they're not really people, you know, or they're like animals and shit like that. That always baffled me because considering the fact that something is mentally wrong with you. If you feel like this person was an animal and you're going out in the middle of the field or in the middle of the night or during the day and you're fucking animals, like if you felt like as a man with black skin was an animal and was beneath you, but that person is beneath you, but you're gonna stick your dick in it?
it wasn't beneath them enough.
No.
And I don't think it was a beneath type of situation, more so that it was having power over it. I mean, you're talking about ownership is essentially what you're talking about. You're talking about ownership over people, a group of people. Even if they didn't want to call them people, they had to call them what they called them so that they could name them as property.
Yeah. I mean,
Essentially,
the whole premise of racism in itself is bullshit. And like you just said, it's just a way of trying to make yourself better than somebody else. You don't have no real concrete evidence of that. Only thing that you have is something that you had nothing to do with in the first place. You're not responsible for being white. I'm not responsible for being black. I have no control over when and where my mom and dad fucked to make me. Same as a white man. You have no control over who fucks and who don't fuck. You could have been a black, Puerto Rican, whatever. You don't have no control over that. That's nothing that you can control. Your skin color does not dictate you being of a better stock than anybody else. But I feel like in people's minds though, they feel like, just a little bit of difference in people, they feel like I'm better than you because of this difference. You know what I mean? Um, it's even in our community as black people. I have this big thing where I feel like, you know, and not really with the men. And I'm going to get off. Like I will always say that men, light skinned Jews, light skinned men in our community was always looked upon as fondly, but something changed. I don't know when. But honestly, light skinned women in our community are still looked upon in the same way. You know what I mean? And I talked to a friend of mine, and he always say, if I was going to deal with a black woman, she had to be light skinned. Now this motherfucker dark as this motherfucker Mike, this right here on my mic, he dark as hell, but he had to do it. Oh, but that's just my preference.
I think that has something to do with what you grew up with and what you don't want your kids to grow up with, per se.
That you know what, to a point, but I mean, real talk. I grew up. Niggas used to talk about my lips. I don't know why. I look at my lips now. I love them. But when I was young, they used to talk about. They used to have big lips. I got called everything, droop lip, duck, duck lips, pussy lips, everything. You know what I mean? I got called all kinds of names because of my lips. Or just having black features was always a problem. But it's nothing in me that says that I just have to be with a white woman or a light skinned girl or a Spanish woman because of self hate. I don't want to be with nobody I don't like, period, just because their skin color. To be honest with you, and this is coming from somebody who do have Spanish kids. I didn't get with her because she was Spanish. I got with her because she talked to me. Let's be real. I love black. I love black women. I still do. I love black women. I love the attitude. I love the feistiness. I love everything about black women. But when I was in my early 20s, black women didn't love me, and I don't know why now. I could have been an incel shit. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I ain't grew myself to the best of my abilities. You know what I mean? Or to have things together. And I was not a hood nigga, so I was a geek nigga with glasses, and I was skinny. You know what I mean? So I wasn't supposed to be looked upon as something like that. But I got with a Spanish woman. She looked at me. She liked me, and that was it. I have never really, I have never did before her. I never was never. Oh, I gotta have me a Spanish girl. No, I was never into that. But I come down to the South, and that's all they talk about: white girl, white girl. I gotta get me a white girl. I can't deal with a black woman. Blah 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 blah. Blah. White, 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 white. And to me, it's like, and I ain't gonna say that there's no white woman that's unattractive to me. There are very attractive white women. It just ain't the thing where I'm like, because she's white, she's more attractive to me. You get what I mean? And I feel like sometimes with black people down here, because they're white, they're more attracted to them.
I don't know if it's, to me, I don't think it's, I feel like biologically, we want to produce our children a certain way.
Yeah.
So, say for instance, like maybe I wanted to have narrow feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like all my life, my feet have been short. I mean, I still have cute feet, but they've been short and they've been like wide, thicker feet.
Okay.
Don't be telling me my feet are cute. And I wanted children with narrower feet. And both of my baby daddies have made that happen for my kids. My kids don't have like chunky feet. Like, well, the two youngest.
But that's not guaranteed though.
What you mean is not guaranteed?
It's not guaranteed just because your baby dads have narrow feet that your kids going to have narrow feet.
No, it's not a guarantee, but I think that's what the whole premise is. Because when you're picking a light-skinned woman or a white woman, and you're, blue black, the whole premise is that your children are going to be lighter. Therefore, they're not going to have to go through the same things that you had to go through because of your complexion. And that still may not be true, because I've seen two people with black parents have a lighter child than somebody with a black and a white parent. So, I mean, it still may not be true, but I feel like it's based upon something that you experience. And a lot of times in the South, you experience that type of situation a lot. Like I have story after story after story after story. It don't make me want to pick a white man to have kids with, but I just feel like, it's all in how you were raised, all in how you were treated. And I think that has a way of pulling you, or gravitationally pulling you towards who you want to have kids with in the long run.
I don't know. Like I said, I grew up in the North, and I had a lot of experience with people, and some of the people that I had, like growing up with, there are certain things about myself I can almost know that I was teased about. You know what I mean? And a lot of it had to do with my black features. But like I said,
But was it by black people, or was it by white
it was by
people?
black people. It was by black
See,
people.
my features, my features, this nose in particular, I was teased about being called wide nose
Where?
by white peers.
Where?
And that places a different perspective on you when you're being teased by people who don't look like you.
See, and like I said,
It galvanizes your whole, and you're young. You're not, this is not something that happens when you're like in 10th grade in high school. This is something that happens when you're young. They get you at the youngest point. I was in like second grade, and I got a whole group of white kids talking about my nose, or they're saying that my hair is greasy. First of all, this is conditioning, whatever what it says on the jar. I don't put lard in my hair. Who told you that? I even brought it to school and showed them. This is what goes in my hair. Who told you I put lard in my hair?
those are
Like,
those would be
those are the type of things that I dealt with. And there were fights. There were many fights on the playground. And I won them all because I was a strong black girl. I don't know if they ever had to deal with that type of situation before, but this one would fight you. And I won.
Mm-hmm.
I would choke you out. I would stump you. I would flip you down the hill, whatever. I would punch you. Like, you're not gonna talk to me any type of way, but you can talk to me right now in front of this teacher, or you can talk to me right now in the class, in the lunchroom. But when we get outside, I'm gonna see you.
And you know what's weird? Because I can almost feel like, and this is not me being oblivious, because for my first, since like first grade to fourth grade, I was in a school with black and white in it, and then from my 12th grade, from my 9th to my 12th grade year, I was in this mixed school. I never really had to deal with that type of from white people. I always had to deal with that type of stuff from black people, and it was my own. Like, it was always, oh my God, coochie lips, and shit like that. Like, niggas, like, nigga, I can go to Jersey right now, and nigga would call me that, and I'm like, dude, I'm 40 years old. Why would you call me that? Like, that's crazy shit. Don't call me that. I'm grown now. But Gucci lips, and and it really, that type of stuff really, in me, it had an effect on me, because I used to look at myself in the mirror, like, what's wrong with my lips? And I look at myself now. I don't think I have huge lips. Like, nigga, I done seen niggas with super cooler motherfucking lips. My lips ain't that fucking big. But I like my lips though. They're full. You know what I mean? Shit. It is what it is. I'm a black man. But, you know, I just feel like, I never ever once, even with that said, oh well, I just ain't gonna deal with a black guy, a black woman, because I don't want my kids to go through this. You know what I mean? I had to learn for myself though, and I did learn this in my 20s, that you gotta love who the fuck you are in the inside, and it doesn't really matter what anybody else around you think about what you look like or your features. And as I got older, those features didn't really matter. Like, people like my big lips, my kind of wide nose, my big ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit that I used to be teased about are now things that people are trying to buy. You get what I'm saying? People try to buy
Yeah.
my, you know what I mean? People trying to get my nose. You know what I mean? People trying to have my ass. They could kick. If they want it, they could take it, because this shit hurts. But having a big ass is not fun. But like, people are trying to obtain these things. But when I was young, it was always something that I was always teased about, but it was never something that I was like, you know what? I got big lips. Let me get with a Spanish woman.
I don't think it's like a thought though. It's not a thought. It's like it's like it just comes to you, because like, I'm not attracted to guys that have wider feet, like fat feet. I'm not attracted to guys with fat feet. I'm not attracted to guys that have a bigger butt than me. I'm not attracted to guys that there's a lot of things that I'm not attracted to. So therefore I would not be attracted to the person of the features that I don't like. I always wanted fuller lips, and because I had them when I was a teenager. I had full lips. As I got older, and with the disease that I have, it's like they kind of just went, Oh.
We're gonna blame the disease. All right.
It is, but it does. It does do that.
Okay.
That's what happened. So, I mean, now this is what I got. I got one full kind of sort of lip at the bottom, and this one it seems like it shrinks every year. But that's what happens with the disease that I have. So, like my face even is changing. Like this is not the same face that I
I
had.
can see you losing weight in your face, though. I do gotta say that. All that, but vegetarian, I guess. But I'm looking at my kid. I got pictures of my kids up right now, and literally all the half Spanish kids got lips. They all got big juicy ass lips. The only one of my kids that don't have big juicy ass lips is actually the black child. Like my next to last child, she do not have she don't have black people lips. She got I don't know, she got her grandpa lips. Her grandma, her mama, her grandpa lips. They're not thin, but they're not like mine. They're like, you know what I mean? She had to look, to get her lips like ours school, like just to poke her lips out. No anything. But,
It's okay. Ain't
but,
nothing wrong with little lips.
but, I like, it just baffles me though, because living down here, I see a lot of people who judge the people that they deal with only because of their skin color. And a lot of black men down here judge the women that they deal with because they want to deal with a white girl. And then they're the same black men that get mad at when they see a black woman with a white man.
To me, I don't care either way. You gonna love who you gonna love, period. You gonna be with who you gonna be with, period. You ain't got to give no explanation. But what I don't like is when you say, I don't want to be with a black woman because there should not be no because. You just don't want to be with a black woman. And you don't want to say that I'm with a white woman because black women. That has nothing to do with two.
That's always the point, though. That's always the reason why they don't want to be. I don't want to be with a black woman because they're too disrespectful. I don't want to be with a black woman because she's too loud. I don't want to be with a black woman. Blah 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 blah. You know, that's their whole premise on being with a white woman. Like literally, I done heard. Like I'll be in locker rooms. I have heard locker room talk about black women by black guys, and that's the first thing they always say.
I'm in groups. I'm in groups where black guys talk about black women, and I'm like, but what? That doesn't make any sense.
But
like that's what literally every black woman on there, whenever they say some old crazy muckety muck, we're like, you do realize that makes no sense, right? Like none.
That's the way they think, though. Like literally, that's the way they think. Like I wish I was just making this shit up. Like yo, every time you hear a black man talk about a black woman, it's always, well, I can't be with a black woman because she just or she just da 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 da.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. That I can understand. But when your reasoning for being with a white woman is because a black woman, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's where I have the problem.
But that's the reason why that's why they can't be with a black woman, because a white woman they say a white woman don't do such things. Like, they're not disrespectful, they say. And I doubt that. I very much doubt that. Because
I know. I know.
See, these white women are very disrespectful. They do it in a ass way.
I mean, a woman, period. Like, women don't feel like now we don't have to put up with the nonsense. We don't. We don't have to sit up there and live with somebody and deal with craziness in and out. But we're gonna tell you about yourself. And if you don't like it, oh well. If you're gonna do what you're gonna do, homie. But if we don't like it, we're gonna tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
That's just facts. Because ain't nobody gonna sit here. If we're trying to work with you, we're trying to be with you, we're not gonna keep sitting here and saying, Tyrone, I wish you would just that we're not doing that shit. It's Tyrone, get your shit together. You can get the fuck on. Okay.
Yeah, but
because your homeboy already been checking me. He's in my email. He's in my inbox. He's been texting me.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. Because we can get on that story right now. I got some time. That right there, what you
I
just
don't have
said,
much time, but go ahead.
that's violation number one right there. Don't you ever, if I'm talking to a girl, especially if we together, like officially together, nigga, don't you ever try to go behind my back and talk to my girl. It is gonna be a fight. That's one of those things where I feel like don't even talk to her when we break up. If we break up, literally, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like I know someone, they were dating this dude. They were dating this dude for like 14 years. Dating this dude 14 years, right? They
What?
yeah, they were dating for 14 years.
Somebody dated somebody for 14 years.
Yes, I know somebody who was dating. Like
Okay.
they were living together and stuff like that, but they were dating for 14 years.
Okay.
And anyway, let's get off the 14-year part. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
they broke up, and as soon as they broke up, his friend get in contact with the girl and said, "You know, I always loved you." Well, to me, that's reason for me to fight you right there. Like,
Why?
nigga, please, you don't know shit.
All is fair in love and war.
Love
You didn't want her no more. Let her go.
no,
Let her be free.
nigga. Ain't about her. You get it's not about her. It's about him. And if you my nigga and you tell me you told my ex that you always loved her, nigga, what were you doing when we were coming over your house for 14 fucking years? So you were covered in my
Watching and admiring,
yeah,
wishing and hoping one day y'all would break up so I could tell her this very thing.
yeah, and then
Because truthfully, I'm pretty sure he would be like, so you gonna just end like if you was the dude and he was saying he loved her, so dog, you just gonna ruin the relationship between you and I over my ex? Hell yeah, peace. And him and her go off and get married and live a happily ever after. Because to me, in all is fair in love and war. When it comes to relationships,
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, real talk. That don't happen. That does not happen.
it does happen.
It doesn't happen. It don't happen much.
It does happen. This happens.
Please,
It happens. Yes.
I'm ready.
That relationships are ruined. People leave and they go off and they're with somebody who they were just like, I mean, the girl who got rid of her kids, who killed her kids. She always had somebody in the background. And this dude was willing to be with her and leave them. They killed the ex-husband.
It's a different.
Did all this stuff crazy.
Look,
They did it.
I'm not saying like this. I have no doubt in my mind that anybody can find anybody. I don't. I'm not one of those type of people who say that if I leave somebody or I go somewhere else, this person will go by themselves forever. I don't believe that I'm like that. You know what I mean? I do have some cockiness about myself, but that's not one of the things I'm cocky about. I really believe that it's never a death knell. The thing that gets me is, I don't
Hold on a
know.
second.
All right. All right. But yeah, like I said, I'm not one of those type of people who think that a woman can't move on or anybody can't move on for all that matter. And that's why that whole incel shit was like, that really baffles me because like there's so much plentiful, it's plentiful out here right now that, all you have to do is just clean your ass, look nice, brush your fucking teeth, learn how to talk to people. And you should be able to get yourself a woman. Nobody.
Sometimes like sometimes you just choose the one who don't want to be got.
You know what though? Then you need to choose better. If you with somebody that you know ain't trying to be got, then that's on you. You need to choose better. That's not on the woman, or you don't deserve to be with the fucking woman. You just need to choose better. You know what I mean?
And that's why I feel like men or women who say, I do this because of this, this, and this, I think they should just choose it on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
Based upon who they're talking to. Because I've dated different races. It's not about that. it's not about the race. It's about the person.
And
Because
that's what, and this is not me being against anybody dating a white person or a black person dating a white guy. It's not about you dating. I'm more against the reason on why you say you date that race. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah,
really about you.
especially when it's opposed
Mhm.
to another race.
Yeah.
Like I don't pit the races together. Like I may date a white guy. I'm dating a white guy because I like him.
Yes.
That's why I'm dating him. Or I may date a black guy. I'm dating a black guy because
You like him.
I like him. That's why I'm dating him. The same
But
difference for me breaking up with him because something happened
yeah, now I
and
don't like
we're
him
no
no more.
longer together. Yeah, but that's it. It's over with.
But that's the thing though. Like I don't have a problem with you dating just because I don't love or you just like the person that you're dating. I'm more against the whole. Well, I'm dating her because she don't act like a black woman. Or
Right.
some other shit. And then you're like, okay.
It just doesn't make sense. You
Yeah,
just sound crazy.
yeah, I don't. Like, yeah, I'm not like I am definitely not the one who be like, oh, you can't only date white. No, no. I'm just saying, as a man, as a black man, I just don't like the fact that we got a lot of people out here who say, I only date this race. Why? Oh, well, they do this and this. That's just so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you telling me they're the only ones who do this and that and third? Stop.
That's what they think a lot of times.
Oh, no, trust me. I know. I know. You know what I mean? But, and, I know you got a long day of, of the rest of your day ahead of you, so I ain't gonna keep you up here no longer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
this
my
was a
days
good
get ready
conversation.
to take a shift, get ready to start
Yeah,
immensely after this show.
exactly. So you get ready to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we didn't have nothing to talk about, but we found something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We're going to end it off like that on this point. If you've seen the show from the beginning, like, share, and subscribe. All that good shit. My name is Tyler Lamar. She is.
2 Winters
And this is.
talking shit with TNT.
All right, y'all, we're going.
Got some things I wanna show you. All you down because I'm here to rock your world. I'm trying to be a good girl. I just want your body next to mine. Your body next to mine. I feel you all the time. There's no denying it. I'm tired of hiding it. Yeah. Your body next to mine. I feel you all the time. There's no denying it. I'm tired of hiding it.